Hi, and welcome everybody to this Micropole webinar on SAP Business Objects Cloud. My name is Kristof Gobbens. I'm the area manager and expert advisor for Micropole, and with me here today is Philip Nemery of SAP. Today we will be showcasing the capabilities of the recently released Business Objects Cloud platform from SAP, formerly known as Cloud for Analytics. As the name states, it's a solution fully deployed in the cloud. Let's have a look at the agenda for today. We will start with a quick word on the product, how it positions and what is included. Philip will then take us through a live demo on the product, and afterwards I will quickly have a word on Micropole and we round up with a Q&A. Should you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to post them in the chat box and we will take them up at the end of the session. First, let's have a quick view on why move to the cloud with your BI solutions. Oracle CEO Mark Hurd said in a recent interview that by 2025, 80% of the business applications will be run in the public cloud. The only data center companies will still run are the ones with legacy software on it, for which there is no commercial alternative. So why is everybody moving to the cloud now? Let's have a look at some of the main drivers. First of all, there's the security aspect of the cloud. It's a common misconception to believe cloud solutions are not secure. Cloud providers have no option but to invest heavily in security, as a breach would be disastrous for their reputation. They have the best firewalls and security protocols in place to ensure the highest level of data security. This is one concern that is taken away when moving to the cloud. Secondly, there's the performance of the systems. Cloud solutions are very performant, and if additional capacity is required, this can easily be scaled up, which joins nicely with the third point, flexibility. If additional space is required, additional memory, systems can be expanded by the click of a mouse. Furthermore, flexibility can also be interpreted as connecting different sources of data together, or flexibility in terms of switching between different toolings. And last but not least, probably the most important one, the cost price. First of all, there's a dramatic decrease in TCO, total cost of ownership, as the maintenance of the system is now externalized. Furthermore, a lot of cloud solutions use a pay-per-use licensing model, which is mostly a lot cheaper than the standard licenses. It can also be considered as OPEX rather than CAPEX, as no heavy investments are required. Philip will now take us through the vision of SAP on this move to the cloud and what their answer is. I will now pass on the presenter role to Philip. Hang on. There we go. Philip, hang on. We are not hearing you. Let me have a... Hang on. Philip, hang on. We have a bit of a technical problem. Hang on, Philip. Philip, just a quick word, because it seems like there's a bit of a problem we're having with audio. So let's have a look. Philip, can you look at the chat box, because there's a code that you need to enter. The chat box, I gave you a code, Philip. Yeah, you can hear me now, but if you look at the chat box, I gave you a code you need to enter, and that way you can take over the audio. Okay, so I'll share the screen with you again, and make sure you enter that code I gave you in the chat box, and then you should be able... Okay.
Good. Can you hear me now?
That's perfect. Yep. So I'll pass on the presenter role now to you. Hang on. Where is it? Philip should be coming.
Yes.
There we
So
go.
you should be able to. Can you hear my screen? Yes. Well, you cannot hear my screen. You can hear me, and you can see my screen. Perfect.
Yep.
Good morning, everyone.
Sorry about that.
No problems. So let me quickly give an introduction before giving you a demo of the Business Objects Cloud. So why did SAP Analytics decided to invest in the cloud? Because for 3 reasons. We wanted to have all analytics for all users into one product, make things simple, deliver a great experience, and in a trustworthy world. Simplification is one of the masterpieces words. Why? Because we would like to give access to discovering what's in the data, visualization of your data, planning and predicting into one product. That dramatically radicalize or simplify the IT landscape. It will give access, it will allow you to leverage small data, big data, scale up in a very easy way. Experience. It's a new completely designed product. Forget the old SAP blue screens long from 20 years ago. There's been dramatically new increases in the user experience with the new BI products, but now we go even further. We want to increase the collaboration between persons, to increase the workflows, to make it very flexible. So we want to deliver a great experience. Trust. Kristof spoke about it. Well, save the data in a secure way on a platform, in the cloud, right? That's our new SaaS solution. And very importantly, put everything into the HANA Cloud platform, because the cloud that SAP is using for business analytics is the HCP, HANA Cloud platform, where you will be able to leverage all the capabilities of HANA. So our vision is bring everything into the cloud, embed the business analytics, or give it as a standalone. Embedding, what does it mean? Well, if you want to embed your analytics that you've been doing in the cloud into your portal, it's going to be done in a matter of clicks. You will have access to a high-performance platform. So everything will be in real time, will be saved in memory in real time on the HANA Cloud platform. And of course, very important, all analytics will be into one product. So what can you expect? What is SAP's Business Object Cloud? Well, it's relying on the HANA Cloud platform, so you could see the underlying layer, and you will be able to do BI, planning, predictive, GRC. BI, it's all about exploration, doing machine discovery. Planning, it's all about, can you plan your forecast? Can you plan your workforce? Can you plan your financials? Can you do some allocation, budget allocation? Predictive, if, well, you have a time series, you want to do some forecast, what's going to happen in the future? Or you want to do some segmentation, right? And finally, which is on the roadmap, is GRC. How can you access the controls? Those 4 pillars, they will rely on very easily data connectivity. Do you want to connect to data on-premise or data in the cloud? We will see, and we'll speak about it in a minute. You want to visualize this. Well, when you're making a planning, when you're making a forecast, you not only want to see numbers, but you want to be able to make it visual on a map, on a chart. And you want to be able to share this in a dashboard. You want to be able to collaborate with each other because, you know, different persons, different roles. Someone is responsible for the budget. Another person has to share the data, has to make predictions. So you have a data scientist, you have a business analyst, you have a forecasting expert. So you want to bring them all together around the same data. You don't want to replicate the data. You want it to be trustworthy, saved. It's all about making the administration and the security of your data easy. You want to lower your TCO. And you want to be able to quickly do an audit and a monitoring of your systems. Who is accessing which data? Who is using the data, etc. So this is really the vision of where SAP Business Objects Cloud is going to. But be reassured, all your investments on-prem will be kept. You will be able to leverage them, and SAP is continuing to innovate into the on-premise data as well. So one of the questions that we all have is, well, I have a SAP HANA database, or I have a BW. Do we need to replicate all the data in the cloud? Well, the answer is indeed no. All your SAP data, which are in specific systems, like for instance the S4HANA, the HANA database, or the BW systems, well, they can stay on-premise. And this Cloud for Analytics or the Business Objects Cloud, well, they have a special mechanism in order to access the data, to do the processing on-premise, but to give the rendering directly in the in your browser. So you will be able to leverage natively all the capabilities of your SAP systems. If you have defined hierarchies, you've defined KPIs, you've defined aggregations on-prem, well, you will be able to reuse them automatically in your browser, in the Business Analytics Business Object Cloud solution. So what can you expect? Concretely speaking, what is existing now? Well, first, business intelligence capabilities, exploration connecting to your data in a matter of click. Second thing is, once you have connected, once you have created your data model, well, you want to visualize them. You want to see trends, you want to see charts, you want to see maps. Well, you will be able to do that, again, very fast. Third is, now you will be able to share with your team. You will be able to send some workflows, to communicate with your colleagues and say, oh, you should look at this chart, look at this finding. Well, but also very importantly, you will be able to see a tracking of all the activities that you've been performing. Planning-wise, what can you do now? Well, you can now create your new planning models. You can define new calculation models. You can define all your strategies, your allocations in a matter of clicks, just like if you work in Excel, but that's going to happen in your browser. But with the advantage of directly embedding your visualizations, directly connecting to it, and all in a secure environment. From a predictive point of view, or from a machine learning point of view, well, as we will see today, there are already features embedded which will allow you to discover automatically your data. So you just give data into the cloud, into the system, and the HCP will process and find correlations, tell you what you should look at, what is an important factor, just in a matter of clicks. But now, let's go to the live demo, and therefore, I will connect to the actual system. So you all see my screen. I connect to the system. I'm giving my password. It's already there. And when I load the page, you will have 4 different options. You can either connect to your data, going to a planning mode, explore your data automatically, or tell your stories. So tell your story is creating dashboards. Exploring is using machine learning techniques to discover automatically the data. Connecting to the data is just setting the connectivity. But if you want to analyze data which is changing over time, so there is new data coming into the database system or into your flat file, what we usually do is first creating a model. So a model is the ability to refine, to prepare your data in function of time. So it will change, so nothing is static. So you will be able to create this underlying structure independently from your visualizations, and you will be able to build a lot of different models, a lot of different visualizations on this model. So that's why it's actually the skeleton for your workflow. So as you can see, you can directly create a model based, either you start with a blank model, or you connect to a data source, or you can get data from an app, or just from a local computer, as I will do now. So here, I will specify actually the source files on which I want to work, and I just upload it directly into the cloud. So here my data is being sent, but remember, if you have the S4HANA, if you have BW system, if you have universes, well, we can connect directly from this browser to what's on-premise. So now I've loaded data, and just to give you a quick background of the information of the data, well, you should see me myself as I'm an insurance. I have different claims And amongst the claims that I've received, there are some frauds, right? And I have information about the persons who sent those claims, their age, where they're coming from, what is the amount of damage that they're asking for, how many claims did they fill before. So all this data is actually represented here. But now I've been uploading my data, and I see directly some quickly statistics about the data. I've got 18 dimensions, 2,000 rows. I will give my model name a name, so I will call it Data Belgium Demo Live. And very important, well, you can specify, well, how the data should look like. If you have the mode, then you should tick this box, but for the moment, I will leave it for now. What should you do now? Well, as you can see here, as soon as you click on one of the columns, one of the columns of the features of my data set, well, it's suggesting actions. Well, why is this CL actually there? Why shouldn't we do a split by underscore? Because probably this CL is there everywhere. It's telling me that this is a typical dimension, right? It's not a measure. If I look at days to report, on the other hand, it directly discovered that it's a measure. Also, very importantly, and look again on the right, well, it's telling me that there are no data quality issues detected. So it's really going forward and anticipating my next move. If I go forward and I look at my data, I can see, for instance, here, the city, and I see here something strange, Elseneur XX, so this, I can assume that's a typo. Well, you can see here that you can directly perform operations on row level, right? So that's why I will do now. I will do some operations on row level, but you can also perform operations on column level. So for instance here, if I look at product cat type, well, that means that actually I have two different types of products, two different types of vehicles, an auto or a motor, and for each of them I have got a special type of insurance, right? So therefore, what I would like to do is I would like to split the column, and I will split the column based on a character, another character, which in this case is my underscore. So this is just a way of illustrating the fact that you can work either on row level, or you can work directly on column level and perform operations like duplicating, creating, converting, depending whether it's a text field or a numerical field. But now I would like to see, as you can see, I've added longitude and latitude in my file. Well, I would like to create from now on a location that would be used as a geographical indicator on a map. So therefore, I will do that in my data model. And I will specify that I want to create this location just by doing here and saying, okay, I would like to display a tooltip. My location identifier will be my city, and my latitude is my latitude field, and my longitude field is my longitude field. So these are actually the two steps, the 4 boxes that I have to create. Once that's done, it will automatically tell me if it was successful, if there were any problems, and so everything went well. So in this part, you should, in this first step of the model creation, you should just indicate what type of dimensions are your data, right? You can add some geographical information, and one thing that I've forgotten is, for instance, here telling that, well, I would like to make it the time, so that I'm able to see special visualizations related to time. Finally, as I mentioned, you're able to do operations on row level or on column level. So for now, I will ask to create my model, and I will save it. And this is the model that I will leverage to make some visualizations to further process my data. So the data has been important, and I go directly to the next screen where I will be able, and time is running, but I still have time, I will be able to create, for instance, hierarchies. So my model is now created, and you can see that actually now I see all my dimensions and measures here. So the time, it has discovered that this is my lowest time, my maximum time, and the different granularities. So it's putting in hierarchy. If I go into the account tab, well, I will be able to see actually all my measures, the days to report, properties, etc. But why would I do that? Because for each of them, I might specify a type of aggregation. And as you can see, you can drag and drop all the functionalities. You can specify the numbers of decimal places. You can specify a scale. Do you want to work in thousands or percentages, etc. So all these operations can be performed here. You can even add new dimensions, add new measures just by adding it here and specifying the underlying formula. But if we go further, I will show you also a very interesting thing, which is actually the creation of a hierarchy. If I look at this data and I'll select this here, I would like to create a hierarchy. And as you remember, we are dealing with different kind of products. So I will give it a name. So auto is the highest hierarchy level, and you will see that things will appear on the right. So what I'm actually indicating is all my different levels and how they relate to each other. B, A, and here you should see that my hierarchy is created. So now, with this, having this in mindset, I will now be able to further drill down into the future. Okay? So now, I have defined the data model. So what I would like to do now is to define stories. So what I will do now is I will go and create my stories based on the data models that I've created. So I create a story, and a story is just a representation of different charts. So I will go here to my, and I will specify, okay, I will specify directly which model I want to use. And as you can see here, I'm now in my user story. What can I do now is just defining the dimensions that I would like to look at, that I would like to represent. So the age and, for instance, the category. And the measure that I'm interested in is the days to report. And here it is. Directly, my first graph has been made. I want to change, for instance, one of the dimensions. I'll just say delete category, and I will add here another dimension that says gender, for instance. So this is how easy it is to create a user story, to create a first representation. Let's go further. So I spoke about, okay, you have a chart, you can change and put any kind of charts you want, but let's go further and say, okay, I would like to add a geomap. So I will add a geomap. And first thing that you have to do is, well, which kind of map do you want to see? Do you want to see a satellite map, OpenStreetMap, or whatever? So that's all embedded. I will leave it for now there. And I will add one layer. So I will first specify, as always, the data model that I would like to work on. So I've done that. I will just specify the location and the measure I would like to see. So as you can see here, my locations are directly indicated here. Okay? So now I've been building, and you can add as many graphs as you want. But what you can do further is going a step further, and just instead of just representing things, is you can have a look at your dimensions and doing some filtering and directly seeing some reports. But you can even go further, and you can create what we call a new machine discovery. So in this case, you are actually telling that you would like to know what can explain, for instance, the income estimate. And for that, you will look at all the different dimensions. So you will actually ask the system to analyze all your features, all your dimensions, in order to try to explain the income estimate. So I've chosen very randomly, very quickly, the income estimate. Not sure what it's going to give, and that's exactly the exercise that you want to give, is can we explain the income estimate? And as you can see, well, here, age, the income estimate is mainly described in my data set by age or by the property dimension. So let's have a look at age. And automatically, it will build for you the reports, the analysis, and saying, well, you should really look at this kind of age, 35 to 49, because this will have a high impact on the age estimate. So that's in a nutshell. The steps that I wanted to show you with you is in the sense that I wanted to show you how you can easily upload data or how you can easily connect to your data, how you create your model, just define your aggregations, define your hierarchies. Then you make some visualizations, and you can go even further by going into and digging more into data with the automated libraries which are available to the web. So that's, in a nutshell, the features for the business intelligence part. Kristof, I give it over to you.
Yep, thank you. Hang on a bit. Can you see my screen, Philippe?
No, not yet.
Just kind of. Oh.
Yes, coming up?
Because what me is doing,
No, we still can't see anything.
I think it's actually rebooting automatically out of itself. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, I don't know what's kind of like Murphy as well, I suppose. Maybe Philippe, can you still take over the screen and show maybe the slide?
Sure, I will do that. You see my screen? Okay, good.
I got kicked out of the system.
Yep.
uh,
So I think now there is one slide about Marco Polo and how you position yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So we're now looking at the key figures probably
Yep.
of Microsoft. So in total, we had a revenue of 100 million for the entire group. We're present in 4 countries: France, Switzerland, Belgium, China, and we're expanding to Luxembourg by the end of the year. Furthermore, it's important to note, maybe the next slide, what our offering really is. So we have governance, master data management, data integration as the foundation, let's say. On top of that, we do supporting big data, all those new types of technologies, investment. Next slide, you can see some of our worldwide. So that's as you can see. So that's pretty much in a nutshell micro, I would say. Okay, let's open it up for questions. I don't know if questions came already up in the chat. Like I said, I'm just reading for some reason. But let me start by maybe asking you already one question, Philippe. In terms of security, can you connect Business Objects Cloud environment with your on-premise Active Directory server?
Yes, absolutely. So that's in order to make the connection secure to the environments, you can of course create logins, etc., for your users, and that's actually something that's very easy to do. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to create users, you just can reuse your Active Directory and upload all the information needed to grant access to all your users. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Maybe another question, because this is something we get a lot from our customers when we talk about the product. So you said that you can connect directly to your BW environments or your HANA data. What about other sources?
Sorry?
SAP sources.
Yes, definitely. So we are able to create connections from the cloud environment to a lot of ACP sources like your BW, but also like systems where you have created your universes, for instance. And we're going to create more and more connectivities to that. So that's really the future, is allowing our customers to leave their data on-prem, but performing business analytics operations in the cloud. On the other hand, we also allow to connect cloud to different cloud structures. So you can connect from the Business Objects Cloud directly to HCP. You can connect directly to SuccessFactors, to Ariba, to Concur, etc. So we are really making the connections available everywhere we can, as well as to your shared folders, to Google Drive, etc. So that's really the main road going forward.
And looking forward on the roadmap, because I still can't see the chat, but looking forward on the roadmap. What can we expect from SAP in the near future regarding this product?
Sure. Well, it will continue to invest in new visualizations. It will certainly add even more predictive and planning capabilities. That's for sure. Although there are quite a few already there, but it will go much further, I would say. And then of course GRC. That's on the roadmap that will be there in order to present a complete business analytics portfolio.
Okay, and maybe one more question regarding the abilities. We saw that you were explaining like the machine learning aspect.
Sure.
What types of predictions or predictive capabilities will be added? Can you elaborate a bit more on that? I know that's your...
Oh, yeah, definitely. So for the moment, we have time series forecasting. So you want to predict what are going to be your sales over time, or sensors over time, what are going to be the values. So that's already there. What you're going to be able to do is to predict how your customers will react. So you have different types